hate drawing at a snail's pace? Do you wish you could pump out art as fast as the pros? Do you feel jealous when someone else posts a finished art piece every single day, when you've been stuck on this one sketch for a month? You know it doesn't have to be that way, right? Here, I'll show you. Come on, hold my hand. We got this. I've been drawing for quite a long time now, almost 25 years to be exact. During that time, I've learned some insane techniques to draw a fully rendered illustration, or 3, every single day. And it's a lot easier than you think. I'm going to share 7 of my best drawing secrets with you that you can start using today and see immediate improvement. This can be done by anyone with any drawing program and a tablet. No worries there. I'm crafting this video for beginner and intermediate artists, but if you're an advanced artist, you might still learn a thing or two, so definitely stick around. At the end of this video, you'll be on your way to draw so much faster. Let's get started. I know I'll get some slack for this because some new artists in my comments hate the fundamentals of art, but it really is important, albeit a bit boring. I know, I hated learning it as well in the beginning when I was just a little kid who wanted to draw pretty anime girls, but the fundamentals really mean what it says. Fundamentals. They're like the basic building blocks that you can use to build up your drawings much faster than if you knew nothing at all. Knowing the fundamentals means knowing how to repeat the amazing drawings you might accidentally push out every once in a while, and faster. There are a lot of different interpretations of the fundamentals of art, but my fundamentals go as follows: composition, line, shape language, silhouette, color theory, anatomy, and perspective. You could tackle these in any order and one at a time if you want. You don't have to spend all your time studying either. I usually tackle a few studies every month or so on 1 or 2 fundamentals, and the rest of the year is me just having fun drawing. You need to balance the fundamentals, the boring yet needed to grow in your art, with the fun yet exciting drawings you love in order to not get burnt out. But the fundamentals of art, no matter how much you may hate it, is one of the main reasons I draw as fast as I do, and you can as well. Gesture drawing is a big thing I don't see enough in the digital art community, but the pros know what the pros know. And gesture drawing's where it's at. Gesture drawings are quick, simple stick figures or shapes to capture the pose and composition as fast as possible before your idea flies out your ears. For me, it's the easiest way to get my idea down as fast as possible. And instead of using those stiff boxes and skeletons, gestures make your art feel more fluid, animated, and dynamic. Gestures should only take about 30 seconds to a minute to complete. The boxes and skeletons that make your art anatomically correct in your style can come next, but first, gesture drawings are a must, if you want your drawings to be fast. Practice your gesture drawing skills every once in a while. It's a great exercise, and surprisingly, it's one of the main reasons I get poses down so quickly, even when using a reference. And it also helps my drawings feel less stiff. I'm going to link a fun random pose generator website so you can get started practicing those gesture lines if you want to. Sometimes drawings take longer because you're trying to think of what you're drawing solely in your head without using a reference. This can be detrimental if you want to draw quickly. References are so important for artists in many ways. 1, to help your drawing stay accurate to whatever you're drawing. 2, it helps make sure the pose, scene, or anything else you're drawing makes sense to the viewer. And finally, it makes you draw faster because you have something to look at while you're drawing. Your drawing doesn't have to be a one-to-one replica of the reference. It just needs to be there as a helping hand and moral support. References also help you improve as an artist. Just having a little picture at the top of the screen helps way more than you may think. I use references for all my drawings, especially poses. If I can't find a pose reference on Pinterest that matches what I want to draw, I use a fancy schmancy 3D poser website to craft my own. And you can use it too. I'll link that down below. Practice drawing from a reference or 2 and you'll be drawing faster in no time. Especially as a digital artist, you are a little too close to the online world when you're drawing. I try to close everything on my computer before I start. I don't watch YouTube videos, I don't have a game running in the background, I don't have any social media up or anything else that could halt my concentration. This is especially important if you're neurodivergent. I'm an unmedicated ADHD unit of a woman myself, and distractions are something I have to fight with every single day. It's actually horrible and affects my life immensely, and not something to be celebrated. So I completely understand the struggle if you're like me. Having that mindset of close everything and draw is so important. Having some instrumental, no vocals music playing in the background helps a ton in keeping your brain busy in order to not be distracted. Sometimes all you need is to force yourself to draw one line and the hyperfocus will kick in and do all the work for you. Use your tools. Use them. Don't be like me as a teen and college kid thinking I could only use one layer and only paint due to a superiority complex. Now, that may just be your style, and that's fine. There are a lot of professional artists who use one layer and have a more painterly style. But if you're just doing that to avoid the feeling of cheating, it's not like that. Your digital art tools are your best friend in order to draw faster. I'll give you some examples. Instead of coloring on one layer, make 2 or 3 or 50, whatever you're comfortable with. The main goal with layers is to save your progress so you don't have to redraw anything unnecessarily. I usually have 2, maybe 3 layers for the line art because I like to color my line art. And having line art on multiple layers helps me more efficiently. I usually separate the eyes, the hair, the head, and the clothes. I also color block with my layers. I'll use this special wand tool to select my character and use a bucket tool to color everything in. Then I'll use a clipping mask to isolate all the different colors. It might take a little bit to set up, but when rendering, it makes your life so much easier. That avoids almost all of the time-wasting processes, like hand coloring in your drawing, coloring outside of your line art on accident, and having issues with your shading leaving your character and bleeding into the background. If you have Clip Studio or another drawing program that does this, the bucket tool has features to refer other layers. So after the initial color block, you can use the bucket tool, set it to refer other layers, and for extra measure, turn area scale and close gap on. After that, you can literally color by clicking a few times. You might need to go in and correct some pixels the bucket tool missed, but it's so much faster than hand coloring everything in. Multiply layers are both your friend and your worst enemy. Believe me, you have to understand color theory, hence why I mentioned the fundamentals of art first in this video to make it work right. But once you master the multiply layer, you can shade so much faster. You'll need to keep in mind what the background will look like if you have one. By default, I usually make my multiply layer a mid-tone, mid-saturation blue because in sunlight, the blue is the color of the shadows. It's called ambient light or reflected light. If you look at this picture of a landscape on a sunny day, you'll notice that the shadows have a blue hue. So keeping in mind your character's environment will make the multiply layer work a lot better. There's also something called subsurface scattering. Skin is partially transparent, so if you factor in your character's blood color, which is usually red, you'll want to add some red to the multiply layer on the edges between dark and light. This will make your character feel more alive because, well, they have blood going through their bodies, as real people do. Yeah. You can also do this as a stylistic choice. I like to add subsurface scattering to the clothes and hair as well, but I make it a more saturated color or even contrasting color instead of a redder hue, just depending on how I'm feeling that day. All of this is done on one multiply layer. Sometimes I create a clipping mask above the multiply layer and then merge, but yeah, just one layer. All you have to do is use your magic wand tool or the selection tool, and if it's a mostly dark scene, I'll bucket tool the whole character, then erase where the light is coming from, or vice versa, if mostly a light scene. I'll color in the dark shades. It makes everything so much faster, but multiply layers can bite you in the butt if you don't apply the correct color theory techniques I talked about earlier, so keep that in mind. Your drawing process is a great way to draw faster as well. Having a stable, easily replicatable drawing process keeps all the questions at bay because you'll always know what to do next. Eventually, as you get your own drawing process down, it'll feel like a breeze. For example, my drawing process goes as follows. I start with finding references and thinking of an idea. I'll move the references onto my canvas at the top right or left, somewhere I can see but also won't cover the drawing. Next is the gesture. I'll get a basic pose down, then I'll fine-tune the gesture into a workable body, thinking of where the joints go as well as the chest and hips, thinking of anatomy and making sure it makes sense. Then I'll add the details like hair, clothes, eyes, etc. Sometimes I'll add the details in a separate layer on a different color, just depends on the day and the complexity of the piece. Next is line art. I use the same brush I used for my sketch layer for the line art and carefully fine-tune everything. Sometimes I'll separate my eyeline art from my hair and separate the body from the clothes. Again, just depends on the complexity of the piece. Next is the color blocking, where I'll put a solid color under all the line art with my magic wand tool and use clipping masks or our handy dandy Clip Studio bucket tool with refer other layers selected, but regardless I try to separate the base colors from each other on separate layers. I use a clipping mask over the line art and carefully color in all the lines with a darker and more saturated color than the base colors I used for the character. After that is the multiply layer. I'll just reuse the magic wand tool and isolate everything, including the line art this time. I'll then either color in the shadows with a mid-tone blue or bucket tool everything in and erase where the light is. Then I'll put a clipping mask over the multiply layer and add the subsurface scattering of the skin and any other shading I feel like. Sometimes to add more color after the multiply layer is done and merged, I'll duplicate the multiply layer and turn the copy into an overlay layer. It gives a nice pop of color where the multiply layer desaturated it. That's just because I like bright colors in my work though. The final touches are the highlights and the background. I usually make my highlight layer above everything else and make it an overlay layer as well. With the background, since I'm still learning how to make good detailed backgrounds, I usually stick to basic colors and a clean design that complements my character. Once you start fine-tuning your own drawing process, it becomes easily replicatable and helps you draw a lot faster. Don't be afraid to update your drawing process as you develop your art style and improve though. You never stop improving as an artist after all. I want to make it extremely clear that you shouldn't overthink about drawing too slow or trying super hard to draw fast. It will come naturally over time. If you force it too much, you'll end up burning yourself out, and I do not want that for you. Make sure that if you are tired and don't want to draw anymore that day, to stop and take care of yourself. The easiest way to avoid burnout is taking breaks. I never force myself to complete a piece unless there's a hard deadline, but if you do this as a hobby, take all the time you need. There is no reason to force yourself when your body says to take a break. Breaks can also help improve your art. I've taken 2-week breaks off of drawing, and when I came back to draw again, I saw noticeable improvement. Take showers, take nice comfy naps, eat lots of good food, and get right back to it. If drawing fast is hurting your mental health, slow down. You'll get there in time. There is no need to push yourself too hard. Just have fun, and drawing fast will come to you in no time. Finally, this video isn't meant for you to feel even more insecure about drawing slowly. You don't have to draw fast at all. This video is just here if you need it. There are plenty of artists who take months to finish a piece. There is no need for you to compare yourselves to other artists who draw faster. They may be in a different life situation as you. They may have more time on your hands as you. Every artist is different, and I need you to know that you are perfect just the way you are. Don't forget to like and subscribe as per usual. It'll push this video out to more artists who might need the advice. And I love each and every one of you. Keep drawing, keep being amazing, and see you next time. Bye bye!